All right, just to get started, a couple of the first things we want to go over are principles. And the idea here is the keys to having a really flexible guard that's going to give a lot of people trouble to pass, and when they do start passing, you're going to be able to catch them in triangles, arm locks, omoplatas, back takes from positions that they can't even imagine that you're able to do. The real keys here are going to be leg flexibility, hip flexor flexibility, neck and back flexibility. Upper back not so much, but lower back. The big things here are you need to be comfortable being stacked, you need to be comfortable having your legs stretched back, and you need to be comfortable in awkward positions that are going to be a little bit difficult for a normal person to get themselves into. And when I say a normal person, what I really mean is a person who's not familiar with the different routines that you're going to use to be stretching and properly increasing your flexibility. So the first thing that we're going to be working right now is going to be your basic, it's going to be a basic inner thigh stretch that's going to help yourself out. And basically when we're here, what I'm going to start is if I were in a butterfly position, and I'm going to stretch my one knee, in this case my left, we're going to go side to side, so it doesn't really matter, you go each leg independently. I'm going to stretch my one leg across, and I'm going to place my other leg directly behind myself, folded back. From here, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be attempting, just like I'm pretty much putting myself in an omoplata position, which is good. This position is going to be excellent for the omoplata. It's going to increase your flexibility here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to lean forward up my own leg. From here, this is going to be your basic stretch, and I'm going to try to put my face to the mat. After I get comfortable with this stretch here, what I'm going to start to do to increase the stretch is I'm going to take my left elbow, in this case, the same side elbow that you're stretching, on the leg that you're stretching, so my left leg I'm stretching, I'm taking my left elbow in this case, I'm going to stretch it all the way across, put it in front of my foot, I'm putting the back of my elbow or the tricep directly on the sole of my foot, and I'm going to lean out here to the other side, across my body. Right now I'm getting an inner thigh stretch and as well as a little bit of a hip flexor stretch, and this is going to be extremely useful when you're trying to get yourself into a weird position, when you're sitting up around an opponent's leg or in different spots. If you guys watch Eduardo Tellez, who puts himself in positions like this, that's going to make him very, very difficult to pass. He's going to be able to sweep you from different spots that you're not normally going to be able to see, because he's able to get himself into positions like this and remain comfortable. The key on flexibility here is not only getting yourself to the position, but also maintaining a level of comfort in there, so you're not panicking, you're not getting claustrophobic, you're not freaking out, and your breathing is still normal. So again, as if I were going to the other side, I stretch my right leg across, my left leg behind, and I lean towards my right. And I can also start leaning side to side across my body. To increase the stretch, my right leg's in front, I take my right elbow, in this case, my right tricep, put it across my body, and I lean. I can lean out in this direction to the same side, to my left, or I can lean across my body, stretching in both directions. And again, notice the similarities to the omoplata position. This is going to help you out there, as well as in your turtle, as well as on your single leg. This is going to be an excellent position to help you out, and it's going to stretch the inner thigh. All right, everybody, our next stretch is going to be another hip flexor option. So when we're here, all I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be stepping to my left leg, keeping my right knee down on the mat. I want to put my left foot in front of my knee. In this particular case, I don't want to start out with a lean over my knee over my foot. What I'm doing here is I'm going to start out with my foot in front of my knee. I'm going to keep my body upright, my spinal alignment intact. We're here, and I'm going to be leaning forward. I'm going to be sinking my hips in. In this case, what's going on here is I'm going to be stretching my right hip flexor with my left foot up. If in the other case, if we were to switch, I'll be stretching my left hip flexor with my right foot up. So we're here, I lean in. Keep my foot in front of my knee, my body upright, stretching out my hip flexor, and then you can start to come forward. Bring your knee down, stretching out your Achilles tendon, stretching out the back of your calf. Try to keep your heel flat on the mat for this. And now all I'm going to do is come up like I'm taking a shot, step the next leg up, sink in. Hips in, body upright, walk your foot forward, and continue. Now, alternatively, what we can do is we can stop in the middle and land ourselves right back in another stretch you've already seen, which is going to be right here. Stop up, hip flexor starts to stretch, start leaning, sink, straight into our next stretch. I can lean side to side, come up, hold your hands on the mat, my next foot comes up, hip flexor comes in. Hip flexor opens up, lean your hips in, and stretch out. And that's going to be another basic option to stretch out your hip flexor and start to work out. That's going to give you an excellent open guard. All right. Our next stretch is going to look very, very similar to a sprinter stretch. and that's going to be coming right across here. In this particular case, what I'm doing is I'm taking my left foot, putting it inside, I'm touching my right thigh, and I'm going to be leaning forward. The key here is not necessarily touching my foot so much as it is getting comfortable putting my face down to my knee. I'm trying to put my face all the way down to my thigh, down towards my knee, because this is the sort of crunched up position. Like this doesn't do me a whole lot of good. Reaching out up here, it's not bad, I'm stretching the back of my leg, it's good, but what I really want to do is I want to get this sort of flexibility here where I'm putting my face down on my knee, because in many cases, right now, this position, I'm right here, I'm crunched up, but a very similar situation that you're going to see when you're actually grappling is an opponent who's crunched your knees all the way towards your face and left you back here. Now, pretty much all I've done is switch the position, and I'm now leaning forward. And nice and easy. We're going to typically go on a 10-second stretch, nice and easy, and then just lean and lean and lean until you can get comfortable. You can start with your chin, then you put your nose, then your forehead to the side of your face. 1, 3, leaning all the way forward. Stretching your leg. On the other side, exact same thing. We're here, we're going to start up. I can reach to stretch in the beginning, nice and easy. Can reach across. If I'd like to, if you really want to stretch, you can stretch different, you can use a similar position to stretch different parts of your, different muscles on your leg by reaching across here, nice and easy. What I'm also doing is notice I'm stretching my back. I'm reaching across, grabbing the blade of my foot with my right hand. I'm reaching across to my left side. I'm using my right hand, turning it palm out, grabbing the blade of my foot, and nice and easy. I'm not pulling hard, I'm not stretching, I'm just holding the position, and it's putting a little bit of a twist in my leg, and it's stretching, which is going to be different than a stretch that's more square on. Reaching inside, I can lean my leg out, open my body, stretch to the inside. Again, from here, I can reach across, stretching in. I can sit down, or can start taking my knee to the outside. Nice and easy, of course. We never want to put any sort of torque pressure on our knee if possible. And we're just going to be stretching a little bit, and that's going to loosen up your leg in every single direction, because grappling, unlike most other sports, you're going to oftentimes find yourself in a situation, you're going to find yourself stretched in situations that you couldn't possibly imagine getting yourself into, mostly because a lot of times it's the other person causing you to stretch, and as a result, we really need to make sure that we have multi-directional, very functional flexibility. All right, guys, our next stretch is actually going to be working your shoulder blades out, and it's going to be helping you out in situations where your opponent's attempting to pass around your guard, whether it's your regular guard or your turtle guard, and it's going to be stretching your arm back. So what we're doing here is I'm going to start out in sitting Indian style, crisscross feet, and I'm going to crisscross my arms. I'm going to take them in front, and now I'm going to extend. And I'm going to lean myself forward, attempting to put my face on the mat. My goal here is I can sit across side to side now, stretching my back in a different way. This is going to be different than your standard back stretch, which is going to be right here, which we're going to get into in a moment. It's just going to angle my body in a slightly different way, and the slightly different angle is going to produce a different stretch for you. So remember, we're here, we're starting sitting Indian style, feet crisscross in front of you. You can lean all the way forward, extend your arms backwards to the sides, and now we're going to be sitting all the way out. From here, to increase the stretch, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my elbow, I'm going to take my forearm and land it flat across the side of my leg, flush to the side of my leg, and now I'm going to open my other hand and continue to look behind me. Nice and easy. I can hold for 10 seconds, then repeat on the other side. Remember, because we want to be increasing the stretch and changing the directions as much as possible, I can change the angle of my body high and low. And that's going to stretch the muscles in different directions. Again, we're going to be holding for about 10 to 15 seconds, then we're going to be switching again. And that's going to be stretching out the sides of your back. Alright guys, our next back stretch is going to be coming off of the sprinter stretch as well. I'm going to start out here, only now, in this particular case, rather than staying put here, I'm just going to take my foot across to the other side. If my left foot is coming across my right leg, I'm taking my right leg inside of my left, and I'm stretching.